Hello, this is the LEGO Nexo Knights Ultimate Flama set, which comes with one figure and 3 Nexo powers and a bunch of accessories that you can change around. So let's go ahead and take a closer look at the first default configuration. This has Flama set up with the Flame Wreck Nexo power on the shield there, and the major accessory in this case is this giant hammer attached kind of to the side, kind of to the back. Technically it's connected to the back, and on the opposite side is a little knob that you can turn to make that hammer come down, so you can really bring the hammer down from above. Now you do need to squeeze these parts together to put some friction in there, otherwise this will always just fall down to the ground on its own and it'll kind of flop about. But you can get some friction in there, which actually makes this pretty cool to use, and this will stand up on its own on the ground without a studded base. However, you do need to balance it a little bit. I found that you need to angle the head of the hammer just a little bit and angle it to the sides as you need to just get a little bit better balance. With some of that stuff removed, here's a better look at the Ultimate Flama exclusive figure itself with the bright yellow color scheme and a new color for this kind of ghost leg base, which features transparent orange with a little bit of solid yellow that's marbled down into it. So that's an interesting yellow flame effect. I think that the yellow here is actually possibly a bit too bright. I kind of wish they'd gone with the orangish yellow color just to fit in just a little bit better. But they did get some contrast in there. They also got a little bit of white in there just to show a little bit of extra heat around the spine back there. And underneath, this also has a yellow base for the head. This starts to look a little bit better to me, like it flows a little bit better once you take that orange flame head accessory piece off. And of course, there's a flaming blade over here, but overall, pretty good looking. But I do think it looks better like this, or would have looked better like this with a darker colored torso and set of arms. As always with these ultimate sets, you get a stand which is themed to whichever side that figure is from, and it gives you 2 different options for things to put onto the figure. Let's look at this one. This is the official configuration for the Slime Blast Nexo power that I've put on the shield there, which is intended to keep the hammer. Interestingly enough, I would have taken it off, but this is how they show it in the instructions. But you take off the sword from Flama and instead give Flama this slime shooter, which is just a stud shooter, which also has an old Baraki eye piece in transparent bright green. And then this crate here is just for ammunition, so that has inside of it some extra studs, 4 extra studs in bright green to shoot from that shooter. This last one sets you up with the Ice Dragon Nexo power there, and once again they do have you keep the hammer on, which is a little bit awkward to me given that the weapon now equipped in the right hand is called a spinning ice disc. So you've got flame right next to ice spikes, and it just doesn't make sense. Look how close that is, and it also really restricts what you can do. So let me take the hammer off. That's why they have you leave the hammer on there. It actually provides additional support. See, I turned the left hand upside down to allow the shield to come down to the ground to try to use that for support, but still it's just fallen over to the side. So you kind of have to have the weapon now on the ground. See, that actually works to hold everything up, but given that it's supposed to be a spinning disc and that you can't even spin it, I don't know. I think the play value with this one is relatively limited. However, I do like the look of those white spikes on the Ninjago arrow blade kind of centerpiece there. It is an interesting and different new look, gives me some more ideas, but yeah, this one just doesn't work out as great as the others to me. So that's Ultimate Flama. I like the figure itself. I think the color scheme could be tweaked just a little bit. The main accessory with the main Nexo power with the whole hammer coming off the back is really good, and especially good for play, and it works well, it balances well. The other kind of options that they provide here look nice by themselves, but they just don't work so well with the figure itself, I think. And kind of the need to either have something on the ground or to keep that hammer in place to just allow the figure to stand up on its own kind of limits what you can do with them without having other parts or at least a studded base plate to always be playing on. So those are my thoughts. Please do share your thoughts on what you think about the set and its quirks down in the comments below. I appreciate your feedback, I appreciate your time, and I'll talk to you again soon.